Let's find out all about what happens after you've been awarded your Chevening Fellowship. Before you continue to watch, please take a moment to hit subscribe below if you haven't already, and make sure you click that notification bell to get notified once I release a new video. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel for another video. My name is Karen Harriet and I am a 2020 Chevening Scholar from Jamaica. Today I'll be talking to you about what happens after you've been conditionally selected for your Chevening Award. So let's go. Hey guys, so I am currently in the UK studying my Masters in Sustainability at the University of Southampton, and I have been conducting a series of Chevening videos or a series of videos dedicated to the Chevening Scholarship. So you can check out my playlist to find out a little bit more. So as I mentioned, today we'll be talking about what happens after the interview, essentially. When do you find out about whether or not you've been awarded the scholarship? So after the interview takes place, there is a couple of months that you have to wait to hear back. Maybe a few weeks depending on at what point you had the interview. For me, it was in April, so I had to wait I had to wait for 2 months before I heard back. So in these 2 months, it was very hard. I have to say. I had to distract myself with a whole lot of things, but anyhow, in about mid-June, roughly, I think it's June 16th to be exact, that is when I got an email from Chevening that I was conditionally selected for the award. And in that email, what they had actually said as well is that, congrats, you've been awarded you've been conditionally selected for the Chevening Award, and that I'd be contacted by my assigned program officer within the next few days regarding the next steps, pretty much. So about 3 days later, my assigned program officer contacted me to say, of course, again, congrats, you've been conditionally selected, and this is what you need to do now. This is your attached conditional award letter. You need to go over this and sign the associated documentation for us to award you the final letter. So in the conditional award letter, it mentioned an approximate stipend as well as what the amount would be in terms of Chevening's contribution to your university tuition and what the university would cover. So the actual conditional letter and the associating documents, it contains what your first choice university would have been in the application process. So if you had not gotten through for that university, and you would have had to explain to your program officer that this is not the university that I will be attending, and then you'd have to submit your updated offer letter from either your second or your third choice university. Now, I have to say, about that, for me, I actually applied to one university. I know that's really risky. I talked about it in a video, so I will put the link up for you to see exactly what I did, why I did it, and all of that. Right, so I did not have to submit any updated offer letter, as my first choice was pretty much my only choice. And it was already laid out in my conditional award letter and the associating documents. When they submit the conditional award letter to you and the associating documentation, it has a date pretty much by when you need to return the documentation return the signed documentation with the updated award letter. So my date, it would have been June 16th. Well, I mean, for everybody, it would have been June 16th. So it meant for me that if I had not gotten through for my first choice university, I would have had pretty much 1 month to get an offer from the university in order to submit that as a part of my conditional award letter back to my program officer. and I'm guessing it would be the same thing for those who have to do like an English exam. So once you get the conditional award letter, now it tells you basically, you know, what conditions do you need to fulfill in order to get this award. So the only thing for me would have been a new offer letter or an updated offer letter from my university, or just an offer letter from my university. But of course, for the non-English speakers, it would have also been meant that you would have to submit a passing mark for an English exam. Alright, so after submitting my signed CAL and the associating documents, I had to wait for approximately 6 weeks before my program officer responded to me again, and this time it would have been with my final offer letter. So by then, because I had fulfilled all the requirements, all the stipulated requirements from the conditional offer letter or from the conditional award letter, then I would have gotten the final award letter, which would also include my stipend. It didn't change between the conditional and award letter. What had actually changed was the tuition fee in terms of the contribution of the university and or the contribution between Chevening and the university. So for my university, I believe they're Chevening partners. I'm not 100% sure, and that's kind of bad, but but for my university, the university actually paid the full tuition. So Chevening didn't have to pay the tuition for my university. They basically had to just provide me with the stipend, pretty much, and other allowances. So the final award letter outlines the stipend and any other allowances. For instance, allowances like an arrival allowance and a departure allowance, as well as a travel allowance to the Chevening orientation and farewell. All right, so now following the final award letter, I would have been advised to apply for, I was kind of advised of this before, but the final award letter, the email containing the final award letter also outlined that it would have been the time then to apply for my CAS number. And this is a number that is issued by the university. It would have been unique to me. I applied for my CAS and I got it back. It actually outlined a number, my reference number, that would have been unique to me and that I would have used in my application for my visa. And it also talked about the tuition that I would have owed, which at the time would have been zero, because the university, as I mentioned, would have covered the tuition for me. It didn't take too long to get, because I actually applied for it before just on the advice of my local Chevening officer. I had actually applied for it shortly after submitting my signed CAL and associated documentation. However, I actually had to get it updated after I got my final award letter. So that's pretty much why they tell you to wait until you get your final award letter, because on the original CAS statement, it would have said that I had owed like the full tuition. But after getting the final award letter and updating the CAS, it would have said no, or it would have then said that I didn't owe any tuition. So that's why they said that it's good to kind of just hold on before you apply for it. All right, so the next thing now is that, the next process following that would have been my visa application. And for me, it really didn't take a long time. It took like 2 weeks. And of course, that would differ country to country in terms of, the process and how long it takes. During the visa application process, I actually had to do an interview as well. But it was pretty quick. It was pretty simple. They pretty much asked only, you know, why do I want to do the program and why that university. So yeah, it was really quick. It really didn't take too long. And of course, as a Chevening recipient, the visa application fee is free, so it's waived. So after getting my visa, this would have been in like towards the end of August. By this, after getting my visa, the next thing that I would have gotten, or the next thing that I would have had to do, was to actually book my flight to the UK. And I was actually contacted by my program officer again, of course, with actual instructions on how to book my flight and when and how to do so. Additionally, I got information about what would happen once it's time to leave my country to go to the UK. What would have happened then was that I would have had to visit my local High Commission in order to get my departure package. And in this departure package, I would have gotten my cash card. Let me show you what it looks like. So this would have been the card that I would have received upon leaving Jamaica. So it actually has like a, I don't know if you can see, like the logo thing. And it just says currency card, right? All right, so I would have gotten that card, and it would have been loaded. Well, it wouldn't have been loaded with cash as yet. It would have been, I would have gotten instructions on how to activate the card. So before departing my country, I activated the card. However, there was still no money on it. Chevening, my program officer, did say that the card would be loaded upon arrival to the UK, and I would have had pretty much would have to prove that I arrived in the UK. Next thing that I just kind of want to mention a little bit, because I'm actually going to do a video about this, is accommodation. I actually applied for accommodation during this process as well. As I mentioned, I'm going to be talking a little bit more about it. I wish I had waited, but again, just stay tuned for that video and I'll tell you why. All right, so actually I was advised by I believe it was the program officer, I don't remember who, but before leaving my country, it would have been good to create like a packing list. So all the stuff that I would have wanted to take. Yeah, but I didn't really create a packing list. I just had stuff in mind of what I wanted to take, and it wasn't a whole lot anyways. I just figured that if I didn't take it, I could just purchase it in the UK. It would have been very easy to do so anyways. Oh, and right guys, another thing is that in terms of traveling to the UK, I don't know if this actually happened for everybody, but I think that Chevening gets you to the nearest point of your university. It is then up to you to basically find the rest of the way. For me in Southampton, basically Chevening did not, I did not fly to Southampton. I flew to London actually, and that was pretty much the only that was pretty much so it pretty much meant that I would have had to find my way from London to Southampton. I know it was also the same for a couple of other persons in my own cohort. They all journeyed to London, and then they had to find their way from London. I'm guessing because it's the most central part of the UK, so we all had to basically find our own way from London to our respective universities. So just be mindful of that. That might happen to you. So it is good for you to do some research about transportation from London airports to your various universities. All right. So guys, I think I have covered quite a bit. In my next video, I will talk about talk a little bit more about accommodation. All right, so guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time in the next video. Bye.